Beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful boy.
What is that?
Have you seen that video? It's all
the
over
Timothée
like Instagram or whatever.
Chalamet movie? Beautiful Boy?
No, beautiful. No, I haven't seen that. It's I forget what his name, but he's a deaf dog, and he's like a therapy dog, and he goes and like hangs out with little kids. And there was a video of like all the kids surrounding him, and he's just like sitting there. It's like a bulldog, and they're like, beautiful, beautiful boy. And he's got like a little crown on and stuff. It's the cutest thing in the world.
I have not seen that. Have you seen
dog video?
Have you seen those therapy horses that come into hospital rooms and just go absolutely ham on those?
Yeah, they're playing the piano and shit. Yeah, they're
my favorite thing. My friend got surgery last year, and the first thing that I sent her before I was like going to pick her up, but before I could go pick her up, they had to wait for like the anesthesia to go off first, and so I immediately just sent her a clip of the horse just going to town.
If I'm in critical condition in a hospital or whatever, and the diagnosis doesn't look good, bring that guy in.
Bring that boy in. I've never seen Cole the dog. Okay, let's see.
This is the video that unlocked Cole the deaf dog for me.
You didn't have that same.
What?
that same rhythm and tone to it, but there's also something deeply hilarious, and I can just picture my dog looking like this if she was surrounded by a group of children. This dog just like disassociating and being like, nah, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's sweet and like very adorable, but it's also like the dog's just like
the dog's like, well.
It's like, this is more for you than it is for me. So oh, when's Cole the Deaf Dog, the motion picture, coming out? That's what I got on.
Probably sooner than any of us would want. You know, they're scouring YouTube now after Kane Parsons.
Oh, yeah.
When are they going to find Cole?
Cole. They've unearthed Cole and brought him to the silver screen. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, after much discussion and belaboring our dear Cole the Deaf Dog. We are back for another episode of I Think You'll Hate This. I don't know why, like, as I say it, like, I'm, like, discovering the title of our podcast in real time. I guess it just speaks to, like, how infrequent we've been with this that I, like, have forgotten about it. But, like, we're still here. We're still having a great time. I'm joined, as always, by my good friend Tina.
Hello.
I am Nick, and we're going to talk about some movies. We're going to talk about some movie news. We're going to talk about some movies we've seen. In terms of our usual programming of news stories and then going into like the main meat and potatoes. Again, we're keeping it a little bit of free form in terms of like the main topic of the show. We're not covering any festivals. We're not talking about Oscars or anything like that. We are kind of just going to rant and rave about some previous films that we've seen this summer. We're also going to maybe do a look ahead at the remainder of the summer. Now that we're about to get into July, we're really in the midst of summer at this juncture, so we'll take a look at what's coming up.
I gotta talk about the Minions.
Have you seen it yet?
No, but I'm so excited.
Okay. I just saw a article earlier today saying that it is a tremendous ode to classic cinema.
That's why I'm stoked. I'm like genuinely really excited about the Minions next week.
So we'll talk Minions, of course, a little bit on this episode in terms of like our anticipation, but then we'll probably do a like recap on that. There's a lot of news stories that have come out recently within the past week or so between our last episode. And unfortunately, like at least two of them that I can recall are related to AI. And whether it's AI... Oh, Luca. Yep. The Luca Guadagnino artificial film. But I was also thinking of the A24 and AI sort of partnership thing. I hesitated to even bring this up because it feels like every time we have a news story, it's about something that we deeply don't like. Yeah. And like last episode, we talked about Scorsese embracing AI. And now we have A24 that is partnering with an AI company presumably for like a lot of like ancillary pre-production sort of administrative optimization, not creative, but even still, again, like we said in the previous episode, slippery slope. And then the Luca Guadagnino artificial film, I think, is maybe a more robust conversation that we could have that is less so tied with AI infringing upon creators and filmmaking in general. And I think it speaks to more about potentially the state of Hollywood and studios. So happy to discuss a little bit of that with you, because that story has kind of been like heating up a lot recently.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting because I'm very curious about this movie. I'm pulling up the article right now, but do you want to like at the very least give the folks at home a broad overview of like what the TLDR is here?
Yeah, so Luca is making a movie. I think that what I read, it was like 85% done at this point, and it's a movie about Sam Bankman-Fried, right?
Sam Altman.
Sam Altman. Who's Sam Bankman-Fried?
I have no idea.
Yikes, sorry to that, Sam, but I feel like you probably did something wild or wrong, and that's why I know your name. Sam Altman, who's OpenAI, and I guess Amazon thought that it was going to be sort of like a puff piece about Sam Altman, and then when they started to see Luca's close to final project, they were like, oh, you're not being nice to AI in this. We don't want to do that. And then they shut it down. Also, Sam Bankman-Fried was the guy who founded the FTX cryptocurrency and is in jail. That's why I know.
Okay. That's a fascinating pool, but
you know me, I love crypto.
I wish him well, I guess, or not.
I think he's also the guy who bought the Wu-Tang Clan record, right? I can't get into this. I can't.
Let's lump him into this. More details related to this story. I think this is really, really fascinating because this is like the first time that I feel like we're seeing a lot of studios sort of like back up against like leave creators and leave artists in pursuit of their own self-interests and being buddies with emerging technologies and emerging tech CEOs and things like that. And so I think that this one, especially based on where it appears the movie is being geared to, for all intents and purposes, it's been described as like the social network for like the AI age. And as folks who have seen The Social Network, it is not quite a loving portrait of Mark Zuckerberg. So I imagine that there is a searing portrayal of Sam Altman played by Andrew Garfield, and the depiction of his story within OpenAI. It takes place during like the season of his tenure at OpenAI when he was fired and then rehired. Ike Barinholtz is also in the film, who portrays Elon Musk. So I'm sure that's probably got some interesting sort of parsibles about how he plays that character and what they decide to show there. So a little bit of background here as well. Luca Guadagnino has been partnered with Amazon MGM for quite some time now. I believe it started with, if I'm not mistaken, Bones and All, and then went into Challengers.
Suspiria.
Or when did he? Suspiria.
I know Suspiria at least, yeah.
Yes, I do remember that now. So whether it's Suspiria, Bones and All, Challengers, After the Hunt, he has had a long-standing relationship with Amazon. And so I would imagine with Artificial, they were basically probably like, here's a blank check. Like, yeah, just keep going. Like, we love working with you. And then it's probably once he started to screen it for them and they're in post-production on it right now, that they probably started to get a little gun shy as to the content of the film. This is also around the particular timing being interesting. This comes only a few months after the news that Amazon is going to invest $50 billion in the artificial intelligence research and deployment company, OpenAI, as part of a multi-year strategic partnership that will accelerate OpenAI's consumption of Amazon Web Services. So clearly Amazon is in bed with OpenAI to some extent, and the content therein of Luca Guadagnino's film is probably not a glowing portrait of Sam Altman, and therefore Amazon has decided to back out of distributing this film. The additional details on this as well is now it's being shopped around, right? So the movie's wrapped, they're in post-production, it would presumably premiere at festivals this year to some extent. I think it was, aiming to release in general at this point in time in the year. Not right now, but I mean just in 2026 in general. Apparently, Netflix, A24, and Focus have passed on it as well.
Well, who could be shocked that A24 is passing on it when they just announced this whole nonsense?
Yes, A24 also recently came out with some news about their sort of affiliation with AI. This comes from Variety. Google invests $75 million into A24 to develop AI-powered filmmaking tools. So they have struck a partnership and an agreement that will see A24, the independent studio, work with Google's DeepMind unit to develop new AI-powered technologies for filmmakers.
I don't even like the name of it. DeepMind?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's not even creative. I think Neon is probably like our only hope for this.
Well, according to this article from Variety, it seems that Mubi is circling it as well.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
So Mubi and Neon appear to be the only two right now that are circling this project. Like I said, Focus Features is out. Warner Brothers' Clockwork division, which was announced at CinemaCon with their first original film being Te Amo, the new Sean Baker film. So they're out, A24, Netflix. So that really honestly kind of only leaves, this wouldn't go to Paramount.
No.
So Neon and Mubi, I think either of those would be appropriate homes. I think more that I think on it, I think that I'm just thinking from like a marketing rollout strategy and like what Luca Guadagnino as a name and what I can envision the movie looks like. It feels more geared to Mubi than it does Neon, in my opinion.
I think Mubi,
I just hope we see this thing.
Yeah, the problem with Mubi is I feel like it doesn't get the word out as well. I mean, I think this one will be far easier than the majority of its other movies to sell because of Luca, because of Andrew. But I feel like in Mubi, it's kind of difficult. Like not a lot of people have it, and they're not doing a good job of breaking through. I mean, Helen Harper should have been an Emmys contender, like a strong Emmys contender.
Straight up.
Yeah. M, Son of the Century, also should have been an extraordinarily strong Emmys contender, but Mubi just doesn't have that reach still. I don't think in the same way. I think that might be changing because they're doing, I always forget the name of it because it's so long. Teenage Sex and Death. There's something that,
Can't My Asthma.
Yeah, okay, that's what it's called.
Jane Schoenberg's.
Yeah, I just see teenage and then my brain it's like the Charlie Brown adult trombone sound, and I'm just like, nah, this is too long. So I think that will kind of be the test to see if it will be able to do a larger rollout of an American film. I feel like it does really well with the foreign films, but it hasn't cracked the American nut.
Yeah, I agree. I think though, again, with Luca's name, I think the subject matter lends itself to a very propulsive marketing sort of rollout. And I think, like, again, comparing it to The Social Network, like, it, for all intents and purposes, could have that impact depending on like how strong the writing is and the performances and Luca's direction. I think that it could be that big splash and that sort of adrenaline boost that we need with a cast like Andrew Garfield, Ike Barinholtz, Monica Barbaro, Jason Schwartzman, Mark Rylance, Cooper Hoffman, Yura Borisov, who was in Anora and was a big breakout there. I think this is a pretty like stacked cast, like a lot of interesting characters in there. I think that they could really sell this. I hope that this doesn't get stuck in like limbo of just like nobody knows, nobody wants to be the one that takes it, and then when you take it, like how do you just embrace its identity and stuff and just go full bore into it? Like, my interest on this one has severely peaked. I have a pretty decent track record in enjoying Luca's filmography. I was not crazy about After the Hunt, so I'm hoping that this could be, a return to form for him.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be watching this with great interest. I'm very curious about this.
I think also if any movie or Neon executives are listening, I think the middling reviews or like the middling interest from the Social Reckoning would make this so much easier to sell, because people want, like you said, the Social Network and the sequel, but people aren't seeing that same sort of style and feeling that the Social Reckoning has. I think people want that, because I do think the majority of younger people are turning against AI. Majority of older people like weirdly love AI. But
yeah,
I think that there is an appetite for it, and I don't think that a lot of studios or a lot of, honestly, companies in general recognize that people are mad about AI. And this could very easily, if it's a good movie, very easily become a thing that is talked about that breaks outside of just the movie nerd world.
And I think too, prior to this news of Amazon dropping it and it being shopped around at other studios, I'm pretty sure this actually got moved out of 2026 release due to the Social Reckoning. Because I think that this movie was targeting like that fall release period.
Yeah.
And we know that Social Reckoning is going to launch in the October month. So I think that this movie, again, because it is very similar in terms of like a portrait of a flawed tech CEO and all of the inner machinations there, I think that on this, prior to seeing the trailer for the Social Reckoning, I think that they were probably wise to be like, all right, let's just get out of the way of this.
Yeah.
Like, it's a long gestating sequel to a really beloved film. Let's just not even deal with it because we are kind of very similar. But honestly, if Mubi can get a hold of this and or Neon or something like that, I would honestly use this as counter programming to the Social Reckoning, because I will be there day one for the Social Reckoning. I'm going to remain optimistic to the extent that I can, but boy, did that trailer not fully convince me that this is worth doing.
It dampened every bit of excitement that I had for it. But
every cautious and trepidatious thought I've had about this movie of like, oh, are we doing this? Oh, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are not coming back. Fincher's not coming back. The cast isn't coming back, and like all these different things or whatever. Seeing it, I'm like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have done this. Again, I'm withholding judgment till I see it. I remain optimistic about Jeremy Strong's performance, and I know that Sorkin can write great dialogue, but can he complete the picture? Based on that trailer, it doesn't look like it's gonna do all that well.
No.
So that's
your AI news of the week.
That's your AI news of the week, whether it's AI conversations and the coming destruction of our fair medium that we call movies, or if it's companies buying up more companies, like, Paramount buying Warner Brothers and all this other garbage. We're always bringing you guys the best news.
The most uplifting.
The most uplifting news to get you to go to bed and feel good about your life in the future. So,
yikes.
Boy, oh boy, that was fun. And not at all hastily put together on my part, but hey, we made it work. So
we did it.
Let's talk about a couple recent releases, things that we saw. We might as well just get into it because this is one that you have been heavily anticipating. And I kind of want to let you just open this because I think that you're going to have a different POV from me on this one, and I am not here to push back on it. I want you to have your wins.
Thank you.
Go ahead and have your wins. Let's talk about Supergirl.
Listen, this was like sad girl cinema, but with some fight sequences. And so that's why I loved it. Like, I had a blast with it because it really is just like sad, depressing movie, which is like kind of my bread and butter. But then every once in a while you got like a fun fight sequence. So I can't complain. I think that, so my one complaint is that they did a cover of Jimmy Eat World instead of like actually doing Jimmy Eat World, and that pissed me off.
Yeah, I definitely think that needle drop could have benefited from just like
being Jimmy Eat World.
Being it. But the thing is that whole scene is kind of shot in slow motion, and so the tempo and pace,
I guess, but then call the Jimmy Eat World
would've-
guys and be like, hey,
and have them
have them do a slowed
remix
down.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That to me
Yeah.
would have been more interesting. But the other small complaint that I had was that they changed her backstory.
Okay.
And I didn't really like the changes that they made to it. But I feel like this was a lot darker than I had anticipated it to be, and that, especially judging from Superman last year. And I feel like it actually grasped who she is as a character. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but it's a lot closer to like the heart of Supergirl that I wanted than I had hoped it would be. So it's not perfect, but I still had a blast. I think she's great as Supergirl. I liked whatever Jason Momoa was up to, looking like an 80s cartoon. He looked like, oh, what's that like Disney movie with the guy who's always smoking the cigarette? Like animated Disney movie with the guy, like the little cartoon guy who's always smoking a little cigar.
No idea.
I'm picturing,
that could be so many.
I'm
I feel
picturing like a weasel. I'm picturing like a little gangster weasel who's smoking a cigar.
I just thought he looked like the fifth member of Kiss.
I mean, could also be true. But what's like, if I just Google Disney cigar animal animated,
I hope you find it.
what am I going to get?
Turn safe search off.
Oh, I guess it's kind of like Pete. Isn't his name Pete?
Yeah, okay, Pete. Yeah.
That's not who I'm picturing. I'm picturing like an evil little guy, like a scrawny little weasel. But I'm not going to find that. But I liked it. It's like I said, it's not perfect, but I had fun, and that's all I can ask for. I cried.
So that's all you can ask for, but like that same logic that you apply to this, I've applied to movies before, and like I have faced scrutiny at your hands.
Listen,
as a result,
I want more.
so.
I want more, but also it got her essence, and I feel like that is something that the past iteration, like the Supergirl TV show and the Supergirl that they had in the first DC extended universe with Sasha Kaye, I don't feel like it had that same essence of who she is as this like deeply sad, just like fuck up, but who still at the end of the day is like, I do want to be this force of good. I'm just not going to go about it in the way that everybody wants me to. And I feel like they captured that essence so well.
Yeah. I feel similarly in terms of Millie Alcock's portrayal of Kara Zor-El. Just backing up a little bit, again, this is Supergirl directed by Craig Gillespie, who previously did I, Tonya, Dumb Money, Cruella, Lars and the Real Girl. I overall did not care for it. There are some wins. There are some things that I enjoyed. Like I said, her performance, I think that she just embodies that character so well. She's got such great screen presence. Like the moment you first see her in Superman, I'm just like, dude, I can't wait to hang out with her. And like, you get to hang out with her for just under 2 hours. And like, she's really enjoyable. She's an enjoyable character to be with. Like I understood her emotions and like where she was coming from in terms of her backstory. I think for me, what I bumped up against was I never found any of the action sequences all that well choreographed or inventive. I found the script and the story itself to be like the weakest element of the movie by far. I don't really like movies that have to rely a lot on like characters having flashbacks to like flesh out who they are and why they are the people that they are.
That happens in every single first superhero appearance, like because people don't know the backstory of, especially like, she's not like I guess she is kind of a secondary hero. She's not kind of the big ones that people know about. So I do think that it's just the necessary evil of making a superhero movie. And I thought that like they did it well. And because what I personally hate when we have to experience it all in the beginning, when they're just like, here, the first 15 minutes are you're going to see how this person came to be. So I thought that the way that they kind of like threaded it throughout was at least a more interesting version of this necessity that they have to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think some of it though for me too is that like whether it's DC superhero movies or just superhero movies in general across both DC and Marvel, we're well past like 50 plus, if not more, of these types of movies. And I guess I'm just reaching the point maybe in my enjoyment of these types of movies where, again, if this movie came out like 10 years ago, like, cool, I might feel totally different about all this. But like after so many movies of superheroes and superhero origin stories and team ups and all that other stuff, like, I don't think it's too much to ask for. Like, I need you to give me something new. I need you to have like a unique take on this, a unique vision and flavor. This felt very by the books. Like, I didn't hear the writer's voice in this. I didn't see Craig Gillespie's vision in this. Like, anyone could have directed this movie. And honestly, and this is, I guess, my problem with the way that the DCU, whatever James Gunn's calling it, how it's begun so far, is that everything feels like James Gunn's influences on this. Like, there are so many moments in this where it feels like this is just Guardians of the Galaxy with all the different like characters and like all the sort of interplanetary, interstellar, cosmic shit that's going on in here and all the different creatures and stuff that like,
I thought they were fun.
It just,
and maybe that's because I don't go to superhero movies. I got to be pulled kicking and screaming to them, except for this.
So this is probably a lot of like freshness to you, right?
I mean,
this is like different.
It doesn't feel fresh. Like, I would agree that it's not like, it does not reinvent the wheel. I think it borrows way more from Mad Max Fury Road than it needs to. I think like so many times they're like, well, women can only care about women being locked up in cages. And I'm like, I think that we could do something else.
But that's a great point.
But I think that also similarly, the unfortunate reality is that there are still so few female-led superhero movies that studios are going to inherently play it safe. I mean, we saw what happened when they let Kathy, I'm blanking on her name, who did the...
Kathy Yen?
Yeah, who did Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. We saw what happened there. Nobody liked it. Everyone was pissed off about it when that had so much flavor, so much identity, and so much passion behind it, and people still hated it. Even though that...
I liked it.
Exactly. I loved it. But I think that, like, if we look at the modern scope of the world and how we look at people with, like, the general public, I think it may not feel like it to us who have watched a ton of movies, but I do feel like having this sort of pessimistic female superhero is still considered out of the norm for the majority of people. Like, the mere fact that she is not like the goody two-shoes like her cousin is going to make a lot of people, it's going to be hard for a lot of people because it's not the same sort of light and joy and truth, justice, in the American way or whatever as Clark. So I do think that it doesn't feel revolutionary for us, but that it is a harder pill to swallow for people who are looking to these movies as like, you know, if it's not Batman, they want it to be like happy-go-lucky.
I think I agree with all that because, again, I think her character and her portrayal on it is the only thing that I think, to me, kept me engaged in it. It's everything around it that I found just very unoriginal and uninspired. I thought some of the CGI was a bit messy and not polished. There was a lot of moments where like you could totally tell they're like standing in front of like the volume or like a green screen and they're just like, hey there, and then like sort of like over the shoulder back and forth them talking or whatever, but like not really being in the same room with each other. I felt like Lobo, Jason Momoa's character, as fun and just like, what the hell is this guy? Because I don't have any context or knowledge for that character whatsoever, so I'm just taking it at face value. Like, fun character, like enjoyable to watch, but like he exists only to like push things around in terms of advancing the story, and then just leaves. Like, he comes in, does a little thing, leaves, and we forget about him, and then he shows up again. You're like, oh, you're here, does another thing, and then he's gone. And I felt like there was a couple times too, narratively, where the movie was like, we're in a dire situation with Kara, like she's, you know, getting beat up or whatever, or like kryptonite this, and she's depleted or whatever, and it's like, what's going to happen? How is she going to like muster the power to do this? Or is the girl that she's been working with, Ruthie, going to help her out or whatever? And then it's just like, no, we just had to wait a little bit for the sun to come back up. And now she's like, good to go. Let's keep moving. And it's just like,
that's like what
okay,
happens with
guess.
the supers. Like, that's, if you read their comics, they always got to wait for that sun to come back up. Like, that's kind
but it's
of
like,
their thing.
Then don't make me think that there's like other avenues that we could to like help solve this, and don't make me feel like Kara doesn't know that she's going to survive or whatever.
That,
you know,
Nick, that's
it
just
creates
like,
this.
they gotta create tension somehow. I'm fine with that. That's just like the story arc of the superhero movie.
Of Supergirl and Superman in particular, not just superheroes.
Yeah,
because
but also superheroes in general. They always dig themselves out at the final hour.
They dig themselves up, not like, the sun came up, now I feel better now. Like, Kara didn't do anything. She's just laying in a cave for like however long.
That's just their
about
reality.
to die. And then just like, the sun comes up. It's like, finally, I'm back at it again. Let's go. And it's
I mean, that happens to tons of superheroes where it's like, this thing is like the Hulk. Like, he doesn't, like, all of a sudden he just like believes himself to be able to transform into the Hulk, and then he's the Hulk. He couldn't do it for a while. That. Well, no, but didn't he like go through a depression or something? And like he couldn't do it for a long time, and then like he finally was able to do it. But it's the whole, I mean, you just swap waiting for the sun to rise with they just need to believe in themselves a little bit more, and then you get the exact same result.
Yeah, but one of them is like predicated on a character like growing and evolving and like strengthening themselves versus like she didn't grow though. She's her same self, because not to spoil the movie, but like where we find her and her sort of like, I'm in this like gray area where like I do stand for like justice, and I do like, I am like a good fighter, like helping the people, but I'm also willing to get my hands dirty or whatever. And she's having that sort of like back and forth with the young girl Ruthie, who wants revenge, who wants to like see this mission carried out and this villain carried to justice. And she ends up having to like back her away from like fully going all in. But the character of Supergirl ends up just doing exactly what she would have done from the beginning of the movie. She doesn't really wrestle with that for herself.
Well,
she like helps
she's already felt
developed as a character.
No. But her decision to not let Ruthie do that at the end is more about, I think it's more about her breaking a bit of a cycle and like showing a kindness that she wished would have been shown to her when she was that age. But then also her growth is about like connection. Her growth is about not just like going around drinking herself to death, but like actually finding a place and like people and like letting them in. That's her growth. Her growth isn't about whether or not revenge and violence is the answer. It's about how do you live beyond that.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't find whatever the resolution was of her ping-ponging around the galaxy trying to find home and a place to like plant roots and meet people, beyond, I guess, the relationship that she developed with Ruthie by the end, where she's like, yeah, I guess you can stay with me. Like the progression there didn't feel...
No, but then she goes to Clark.
Totally...
She shows up in Metropolis.
Yeah, but I don't understand why she would want to.
Because I think like when she first got there, when she was younger and she was depressed, like she hated it not because of anything about Metropolis, but she hated it because it was not the place that she grew up. And she was coming to a place and a point in her life where she could not like find it within herself to want to put roots down. I think the mere fact that she is trying to put roots down shows that she has grown, because I think it's a really hard thing. I mean, like, I know that, like, when I moved and, like, a very depressed time in my life, like, there's nothing wrong with the city that I moved to, but I didn't have that energy or interest in making it into a home. But then you grow, you get better, you learn about yourself, and then you could come back, and then the same city could not have changed, but you have changed, and you are willing to be vulnerable enough to make friends, to make a home, to put roots down. I think that's her story, because she's been so afraid of that her whole life.
Yeah. I think that because where the movie ends, you would just feel like, oh, her and, you know, Ruthie are going to go like explore the galaxy, or like find a place to like lay down and like chill out for a while and just like start a life. So like to see them like usher away, I guess, which, you know, at this point we're ostensibly spoiling the end of the movie, so sorry, but everyone's, I'm sure, seen this.
We'll put it out on Monday so that people will have
get
seen
over it. Is I would have expected for, you know, that to just be the ending of the movie, but like her to just jump back over to Metropolis or whatever. I don't know.
No, because she doesn't say no. Ruthie is going to live with her family. They're just going to celebrate her birthday. That's all she said. She said,
right. She was going to hang out with her aunt or whatever.
Yeah. She said like Ruthie's going to live with her aunt, and then Supergirl's like, you know, I didn't get to finish celebrating my birthday. So I like that they did not like forever bind the two of them together in terms of like, this is my new little sidekick that we're gonna do to like work on stuff together. But I like that like she was allowing herself to celebrate with somebody other than Crypto. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that all makes sense.
Yeah, I had fun.
I was bored.
Well,
and
this is the last episode of this podcast.
And but again, I think a really salient point, and I think that this does have an impact on my viewing of it as it does yours, is that I you know, was saying like I've seen like 50 superhero plus movies. Like I've watched every single Marvel movie. Yeah. I've watched every single DC movie, all the X-Men movies, like fantastic. I've seen them all. So like when I see something like this, especially when James Gunn is like, yo, we're rebooting the DCU, we're starting fresh. Also, one of the things that he was very adamant about with this whole new regime that he's running is that like, if the script is not like locked tight, like emotional, like, you know, character driven, like really, you know, original and like exciting, like we're not going to do it. Like we're not going to just like green light titles for movies without knowing what it is and like that we can do it to the best of our abilities. And like we're only 2 movies in, if we don't count like all the like different like HBO shows and yada yada or whatever, but like to me this doesn't feel like a natural next step of like we're evolving our identity and our brand and we're like strengthening our portfolio with another solid entry. This to me feels like hitting a pothole. I don't think that like this is like the end all be all, like spelling doom and gloom. Like I'm excited at the prospect of seeing Supergirl and Superman like together in movies, and I would even go see another Supergirl movie, hopefully with, you know, a better story and more better direction. But this did not fulfill the confidence that I had in James Gunn of like shepherding this new vision of what the DCU is. And if anything, by the time this movie was over, I'm like, man, I'm so ready for Clayface, because that's something that like I have no context for. I have no, like, I've got no expectations, and it does, based on the trailer, feel wholly new.
Did you like
different
Superman?
flavor? I liked it. I didn't love it. I think in hindsight, looking back, like it a lot more than this. But I still wasn't crazy about it either.
I really did not like it. I think, and coming between the two of them, I think Supergirl 100% is better than Superman. I did not like Superman. I have no interest in returning to it.
You do, unfortunately, have a bias, though, I feel like.
No, because Superman and Supergirl, I can't believe I'm talking this much about comics. This is crazy to me. It's so foreign. But Superman and Supergirl were the comics that I read growing up. So I have a bias toward the two of them.
Yeah.
But I did not like Superman did not feel like a Superman movie. Superman felt like here's Superman, a side of Superman, but you're also going to get all these wacky guys who are going to take over the majority of the movie, and it's not going to feel like a Superman movie at the end of the day. And I did not like that at all.
I totally get that as well.
Whereas this feels like it was her narrative. She is in 90% of the scenes, and it is her that is driving, like, the driving force of this film. And I do think that it is an emotionally grounded story. I think more so than Superman. I did not think that had any sort of emotion behind it. But I don't know. I'm willing to die on this hill that Supergirl is decent. Like, it's people are treating it like it's the worst bit of superhero slop that has come out in the past, like, 10 years. And
I could probably point to 15 worse than this.
100. There's so many more that are terrible. And I just think that it, as much as, like, we would like to believe that we are past the point of, you know, the greater public caring that it is a female-led role, I do think that is a problem still for a lot of people. And I do think that it is a problem that she is not, like, the sweetie cutie pie of, like, a superhero, you know?
But I think the inverse of that would also be true, that if she was this cutie pie, like, ultra femme, like, goody two shoes, like, that would get blowback from both sides too. Like, I think it would do better. I think if she was, like, the kind and good, like, if she was Superman, like, that same mentality of, like, I'm going to find the good in people, I'm not going to murder, whatever, what have you. I think it would be a home run, because that's kind of essentially what Wonder Woman is. Like, Wonder Woman doesn't have that same sort of undercurrent of loss and tragedy that is in Supergirl. And I think that if we look at, because I was thinking about Wonder Woman as I was watching it, Wonder Woman is essentially that same force of good that Superman is, where she is like, there are right and there are wrong, and there's, like, no in between, and I'm going to be kind to everybody that I meet always. But then with Supergirl, you don't have, and I think that's part of why Wonder Woman did really well. And I think we were also in, like, a different, better time of our lives. But I think Supergirl... It's also a better movie.
I think...
It just is.
Well, yeah, I do think it's a better movie, but I think the character of Kara is vastly more interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's also part of why, like, a lot of the friends' reviews that I was seeing on Letterboxd is people are like, well, I wanted this to be happy. And I'm like, if you guys, like, knew her story going in, you would know that this was not going to be a happy, fun time. Like,
but also too, with comic books and characters, like, again, and I don't know too much about Superman, let alone Supergirl, but, like, from my understanding of, like, even, like, Spider-Man and, like, Iron Man and Batman or whatever, there are so many different permeations and depictions of these characters. Some even that it's like, we're going to provide, like, a different origin story to this, or, like, tweak it slightly, or, like, this is an Elseworld universe where Batman and like, there are so many ways to approach superheroes that, like, to me, to that complaint from your friends or people you see on Letterboxd, it's like, yeah, you may not like this version of Kara or whatever, but, like, this is authentic to permeations of her throughout comics and stuff. So it's like, go read a different comic of her where, you know, she is a bit more happy-go-lucky or whatever. Go watch the Supergirl CW show, which, you know what, like, I think that there are strengths to that show as there are weaknesses, just as there is for this one. So it's honestly,
it's just
like,
two wildly
pick your favorite
versions of Kara.
Pick your favorite flavor of ice cream. Like, it's like, there's no need to poo-poo when someone else enjoys it, or, like, to say that the movie is, like, wrong or bad because the version of the character is not what you expected. I think that's just, you need to check yourself when you're going into the movie, and you need to take the movie for what it's trying to illustrate. I was just quickly looking at Wonder Woman, just because I was curious, because, like, it is an apt comparison or whatever, but, like, Wonder Woman, the first one, its lifetime gross was
let's
400.
Never talk about Wonder Woman 2.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. It was $412 million, basically.
Yeah.
give or take. And then Wonder Woman 1984, its lifetime gross was 46 million.
I mean, that's also not fair because I do remember Wonder Woman 1984 came out pandemic times. So I do think
we do have to
theaters,
caveat that it was day and date with HBO as well. So
and I know that I was not going to the theaters, but it's still not a good movie.
but even the people that saw it, it's like, yeah, dude, like put this in, like watch it at home or watch it in theaters, pandemic or no pandemic. Like it's just like an inferior movie.
Yes, 100%.
From the first one. So all that being said, what I will say about Superman, just going back to that real briefly, is that like I agree with a lot of your complaints on it as well. The fact that you had like Mr. Terrific and like the Justice League squad or whatever the hell, whatever, taking away some of the screen time from Clark and Superman, and then the Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen and everything happening at the Daily Planet. Like it is a very like there's a lot of shit going on that it did in some respects lose sight of Superman as a character. I think where I will forgive it though for that is that I can point to like 6 or 7 other Superman movies that do the exact, like we're following Clark, we're doing the story, we're like with him the whole time. It's none of the other accoutrement. We're just following him. And it is a Superman movie that I'll give James Gunn credit for this. It's like, at least this was different. At least this was Superman at a different place in time. It wasn't the origin story. He's been Superman for a while. People know who he is. And this is him interacting with other people. You may not like that. It may make for a less compelling character to follow. It may make for a less enjoyable movie to follow, but I'll at least give it props for doing something that I haven't seen before in portraying Superman. So
I mean,
I thought that was worth it.
The two things I'll say to that is, one, Superman had, like, the reason why Supergirl has to have the backstory is because she does not have that same breadth of being, known in the public
in
universe.
The zeitgeist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the unfortunate, but you can't just jump in and expect people to know who she is. Right. And so I think that is just like the inherent flaw of starting over with some new character. But the argument that like we've done Superman so many times so that like it's fine to leave him behind and focus on the other people, not if it's called Superman. If the movie's called Superman, I want it to be following Clark. I want it to be about following Superman. I don't care about the other people. That's why, like, and James Gunn more than anybody should know this, of like how you make a valuable franchise with lesser known characters. I mean, he brought Guardians of the Galaxy from nothingness, except for like the 600 people who read the comics. And I think that he did those characters well, like the auxiliary characters, but they should have been their own movie, and that would have been fine. I have the issue of, you're calling it Superman. I want it to be Superman.
And I think depending on who you ask at any given day of the week, they got enough of what they wanted of Superman. The character and the embodiment of Superman by David Corn Sweat.
He did a great job. I love him as Superman. I think he's a fantastically cast Superman.
Yeah, every time he showed up in Supergirl, I was like, I can't wait to hang out with this guy again, because I really do like him.
I love the scene when he opens up her capsule when she like first makes it to Earth and she can't speak English and he doesn't speak Krypton. And then he's just like babbling like an idiot. And then she's like, is he wearing underwear?
Yeah, that whole thing. Give me like a buddy cop, sort of like them working together on something where she's like the bad cop and like a little bit more hard edged, and he's like trying to like keep the peace or whatever. I think that would be really fun.
Give me like a Nice Guys style movie, but it's Clark and Kara, 100%.
Dude, I'll buy that. I'll write a check for that immediately. All right, so wow, we actually went long on Supergirl. I'm actually not surprised. I'm not surprised. You had been excited for this ever since we started the pod. I know you like Supergirl. Girl. You like Millie Alcock, so it's like, let's just give it its due diligence.
Let me also, discussing it, since I have the space and the podium.
Please.
AMC, if you make a specialty drink,
oh my God,
for a movie, and that movie is screening, even though it hasn't been officially released yet, and you have a poster up in the lobby, let me order it.
What happened?
I went and they had like a little poster that said Supergirl Intergalactic Fizz or whatever. And I was like, ooh, let me treat myself. I've been waiting for this movie. And so I go up to the bar and I say, hey, can I get the Intergalactic Fizz? And they said, no, the movie doesn't come out till Friday. And I was like, but I'm here for a screening of it. And then they were like, we have the Masters of the Universe drink. And I said, absolutely not.
Damn, that sucks.
I was so mad.
They're going to say no to money. That's crazy.
Yeah, they really tried. They were like, you don't want anything else? I was like, literally, no.
Ridiculous. All right. Well, with the time remaining.
Do we have time remaining?
I guess. I mean, I think we do.
Okay.
I think we got a little bit of time. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? When does summer start for you?
Isn't it already started?
In your eyes. Yeah, but when does it start for you? To me, it's
like
May.
June.
Like May is movie season.
Oh, if we're talking about movies, yeah, I guess May. I don't know. I feel like I am like not the best with like summer blockbusters just because it's usually stuff that I'm not super interested in. So I don't really have that same excitement for me, it's like fall. That's when I get excited for like movies every week. But
well, then with the time remaining, we will do a quick sprint through the rest of the summer from now until end of August. Looking back, right, in May, we had Backrooms, Obsession. Mm-hmm. We had Star Wars, Mandalorian and Grogu. Like, we're in it now. Mm-hmm. We're in the trenches. Here we are with now Supergirl. Toy Story 5 came out. So we're just going to kind of do like a temperature check on like looking forward to it, like excited. And we'll touch base on it later. Yeah. So coming out next week, we talked about it a little bit already. Minions and Monsters. We're feeling good on that one.
I'm stoked.
Yep.
Never seen Despicable Me. Never seen. I'm going in cold.
Cold as hell.
I've been first on the Universal ride. That's it.
Yeah, that's probably your only context. The first two Despicable Me's I really enjoy. I have not seen either of the solo Minions outing. Actually, you know what? That's a lie. I think I did see one of the Minions movies.
I think I saw The Rise of Gru. Is that one? Like, takes place in like the 70s?
I think that's the second one.
Yeah, and it's like a 70s like sort of crime caper. That was kind of fun.
Dude, maybe you like these movies. Maybe we're about to find out you like a Minion head. So Minions and Monsters, that should be fun.
Do we think that they'll have a banana mixed drink for me or no? I think it's going to become my bit
not
now.
Not June 30th. Maybe July 1st, though, when it comes out. So just be careful.
Yeah.
Ordering it too soon. July 10th, we get 4 big movies. Only 3 that I'm going to watch. But starting out with Moana. Just going to go ahead and say it.
Skipping.
We will not be covering that movie on this podcast. Don't care.
No.
Godspeed. Good luck to them all. Then we have Evil Dead Burn.
Yeah.
I'm excited, but honestly a little trepidatious about this one. From some of the marketing that I've seen, I have not been too gung-ho about it. There's something about it visually that looks really dark, and not dark from like subject matter, but dark like, did they even like this movie? Like, what's going on? Like in the color grading, it's really weird.
Have they released more than that one like weird 30
thing
second
that you've seen? Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a whole thing. Wow. Yep. So, but I really like the director, Sebastian Vinnick, I believe is his name, who did the Infested Shudder spider movie that I really enjoy. So seeing it for him, seeing it for its alleged connectivity to Evil Dead Rise, but I think I'm more interested in Evil Dead Wrath that comes out in 2028 that is a prequel set in the 70s, and it's going to have a retro 70s look to it, which I think is such a fun flavor. So, excited for that?
Yeah, I'm down. I got to do a little research probably, like watch a couple of movies.
Sure. Then we have 2 movies that I believe both played at Sundance coming out as well. We have Olivia Wilde's The Invite.
Yes, excited.
A24.
Interested.
Very excited for that one. And then we also have Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass with Zoe Deutsch.
Very excited.
Are you tracking this one?
Have a screener.
Yeah.
Gotta watch it.
Ooh. All right. And then after that, we have basically it's Odyssey weekend. It's Christopher Nolan, The Odyssey, July 17th.
Shout out Chris.
Shout out Chris. Shout out to the fact that they have said that no social media and influencers are going to be permitted early access to screeners.
That might be my favorite thing that I've ever learned about Chris.
Yep.
My guy.
It's only going to be to eligible critics at a select premieres that can see it early and talk about it.
I would love to see Christopher Nolan be interviewed by an influencer.
Is it? I don't know why it made me think of this, but it made me think of the scene in Sentimental Value when they're being interviewed for their movie or whatever, and it's Elle Fanning and Stellan Skarsgård or whatever, and they talk about like Netflix or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
After that, we have kind of the only thing that I guess I'm mildly interested in is Her Private Hell, the new Nicholas Winding Refn film with Sophie Thatcher and Charles Melton.
Charles Melton, my boy.
I love this cast. Havana Rose Liu as well. Not getting good reviews out of Cannes.
I don't. It doesn't matter. Charles Melton.
Is not surprising to me. I'll see it regardless, though.
Yep.
And then we have on July 31st, Spider-Man Brand New Day.
I will be skipping
Very
that.
exciting. That is weird, but
Why?
why Spider-Man's great. What's your deal with Spider-Man? Are you going to come out on this podcast as a Spider-Man hater?
No, I don't find. I think that Zendaya is cool. I think Tom's cool. I don't find it particularly interesting. It just feels everything that you were saying about Supergirl. Of like we've seen it before. I think like part of the novelty of seeing a character like Supergirl is that she has not been on a screen like this before. Whereas Spider-Man, it's like you've got so many options, and I'm like, I don't really care.
And they're all
that
pretty
much.
damn good, though.
Sure, but not for me.
Yeah, I mean that's fine if Spider-Man's not your flavor. Like that's, I mean, there's plenty of superheroes that aren't my flavor that like I begrudgingly watch because I'm a completist. But you know, like Spider-Man is near and dear to my heart. The Tobey Maguire films like shaped me as a child, and then like Andrew Garfield stepped into it and kicked ass. And
I love
Tom Holland's been great.
Ones. Those are my favorite.
They're all very great in their own right, and I think this one it's the longest Spider-Man that they've made, and a lot of it is shrouded in secrecy. There's a lot that I don't know about it, and this is the first Spider-Man movie from Destin Daniel Cretton, who did Short Term 12 and Shang-Chi. So it's his stab at the Spider-Man franchise. Shang-Chi, I know. Yeah, not great. Not great.
Yikes.
We also have that same weekend, I Want Your Sex.
I'm stoked
with Olivia
for that
Wilde
one.
and Cooper Hoffman. That one.
Yep.
Can't wait for that. That's also another Sundance movie, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
All right. And then rounding it out, here we go into August. First weekend in August, the only two that strike me is the first one is One Night Only with Monica Barbaro and Callum Turner, the romantic comedy where you are only allowed to have sex on one night of the year, kind of like The Purge.
Which it's a crazy concept, but like, sure. I think the two of them are extremely charming, so I will see it. But I'm also like, what is this?
I kind of, I like such an abstract concept like that versus like your traditional rom-com sort of whatever. Like, I think just like, and I don't even necessarily want to watch it and get explained as to like, well, like these lawmakers decided to do, like, I just want it to be a thing. I want to know
why we're doing this.
I don't know what answer they would give me that I would think is like an acceptable answer.
No, but I think if you pose that stipulation, you gotta prove to me that there's a purpose behind it.
I'm sure they probably will. I just think that for me, like, I don't, if they don't answer that question, I'm not going to think that the movie's unsuccessful. What I think will be successful of the movie is it entertaining? Do I believe in this romance between these characters, and do I have a good time? Sure. If they do that, I'm in. I'm a less is more kind of guy sometimes. Like, sometimes things just are, and I think that that's kind of cool. If it's just like, we won't even address it. But
to a certain extent.
That's
but this is crazy.
Ice Cream Man.
No.
I have to mention it. Eli Roth. It's like Major Sweets from Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
An ice cream man gives ice cream to kids, and they go feral and kill adults.
It's like Red Dye 40.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I didn't realize that like kids actually went crazy when they had Red Dye 40.
The more you know. What is this Greta Lee Willem Dafoe movie, Late Fame?
Yeah, I keep getting emails about that.
but I'm going to add it to my list. Not covering it here, though. We do then on August 14th, 2 movies I want to plug. We have, well, actually not 2 movies, just one. The End of Oak Street, Anne Hathaway, Ewan McGregor. This is the new David Robert Mitchell film. He did this and is about to start filming They Follow, the sequel to It Follows. He did It Follows. He did Under the Silver Lake. Very excited for this movie. Dinosaurs.
I want to fight him about his split diopters. I'm sick of him.
I unfortunately saw the full trailer in front of Supergirl yesterday, and the 2 diopters that they do use in that trailer, I'm like
why? It's like everybody just came out of film school like 3 years ago and just learned a split diopter, and we're like, oh, we gotta use this.
Yeah,
and it's driving me up a wall.
August 21st, 2 movies. Mutiny. It's the next Jason Statham movie.
And you know what?
Say more.
That's my boy.
We'll be there. And then we have Insidious Out of the Further, which is the 5th, I think, Insidious movie.
That's not my
business.
I don't know.
Sure. I'm there, I guess. Lastly, here on
the gardener from Haunting of Bly Manor, which is like the only thing that is moderately making me intrigued.
Which is the one Flanagan show that I told you that I've only seen half of. So I gotta, I guess, finish lesbians. It. Clearly. Now we have, this weekend's pretty packed. There's quite a few here that seem interesting to me. So The Dog Stars, which is the new Ridley Scott dystopian thriller with Margaret Qualley, Jacob Elordi, Josh Brolin, Allison Janney. The full trailer for that played in front of Supergirl. Looked really, really good. So excited. I'm optimistic for this one.
Yep.
Then we have Coyote versus Acme, which is the Warner Brothers animated live action hybrid, very much akin to Looney Tunes Back in Action and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Yeah. This movie was canned after being made and done by Warner Brothers, and they were just going to get rid of it as a tax write-off. But thanks to Will Forte leading the charge and a bunch of people in the community that were excited for this movie, speaking up and getting loud, it's finally releasing. So people should show up, make this movie a huge box office success. Looks really, really funny. So excited for that.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 here, we have Idiots, which is with Dave Franco, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Mason Thames. This played at Sundance, I believe.
I think both.
Both. Because it was originally called The Shitheads.
Yeah.
Yep. This is from Macon Blair. Yeah. Macon Blair, who is a frequent collaborator with Jeremy Saulnier. And looks fun. I haven't seen the trailer, but I like the concept and I like the people in it, so I will be there. And then lastly, just because this is shit that's right up my alley, Buddy. This is a horror comedy movie from, what's this guy's name? I'm going to mess it up. Casper Kelly, who is most famous for his Yule log video on Adult Swim, as well as Too Many Cooks. He is like a very odd and dark comic mind. And this movie is about a brave girl and her friends who must escape a kids' television show when the dinosaur character starts to kill people. So it's like Barney if Barney was like a serial killer.
This was another Sundance and South by movie, I believe.
It was indeed. Yeah. Stars Kristen Milotti and Topher Grace and Keegan-Michael Key as the voice of Buddy. I've heard mixed things from this from people that have seen it. But it is a concept that is hard for me to look away from. It just appeals to me in every way, shape, and form. So I will be there 100%.
I mean, Kristen Milioti, that's all you have to say for me to show up to a movie. That's it.
Agreed. I love her work. Mm-hmm. She was wonderful in Palm Springs, and she is terrific in The Penguin. If you haven't seen
that's what I mean. The Penguin. Man, she's so good in The Penguin.
That was summer at
the cinema.
5 times speed. we just ran through it. There's still quite a lot to come out this year, this summer rather. So very excited to check those movies out. We will review them in bonus features. We'll talk about them in here like we did with Supergirl. We will cover them to some extent, and looking forward to it. But we should wrap this thing up as we have crested the hour mark. Let me first and foremost say thank you all for watching and listening wherever you may be. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast, Thank you so much. Go ahead and leave comments. Make sure you're following it. Do all that good stuff. Share with others. We are also here on YouTube. You can follow us here at I Think You'll Hate This. We're on Facebook. We're also on TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky. I think that's it. We're not on X anymore because I just don't care. Yeah, all the links are in the description below of here on the YouTube as well as on Spotify. So go ahead and follow us, engage with us there. And yeah, thank you guys for watching and listening. Tina, do you have anything to say to the kind folks at home?
Yeah, go see Supergirl and get an intergalactic fizz and tell me if it's good or not.
Also, go get that Supergirl cup.
No.
That looks really not great.
Don't do that.
And I'll let you connect the dots of what it looks like. There's a lot of internet pictures out there, and I saw it in the flesh yesterday.
And what a play on words that is.
And what a play on words that is. Go see Supergirl or catch up on the Minions and everything that they're doing before next week. So thank you guys for watching and listening to another edition of I Think You'll Hate This. We'll catch you at the next one.
There you
go see a movie.
Go see a movie.